guys, so welcome back to my channel or my book channel or whatever kind of channel you want to say. So I am back finally. I have finally read the books for this challenge that I set myself because I am normally thriller. I mean, all my thriller books that I absolutely love, and I thought, you know what, I am going to read the 5 most popular rom-com books that there is at the moment and see how I got on. Completely out of the box. It's taken me a bit longer than what I'd anticipated, but that's not really any excuse. I should have just got on and done it. But anyway, I have done it. I finally finished, and I read 5 obviously. I started off with It Ends With Us. Funny you should ask. The Love Hypothesis, Book Lovers, and Every Summer After. And I have to say, I really did enjoy pretty much all the books that I read in this challenge, which really shocked me because I didn't think I was going to like them just as much as I did, and yeah, I was pleasantly surprised. So anyway, so I'm going to go through them. Obviously this is going to be like a little short video because I think I was trying to do this challenge to try and get myself into things. I've got my new camera, which I'm really hoping is going to work, which I've noticed is flashing already, and I don't understand why. So I think I need to charge it, but it is what it is. Anyway, so I am going to go through it. So basically, my favourite book that I absolutely read, that I loved was The Love Hypothesis. Now this book will make you want to have a fake boyfriend. I'm going to try and keep this as like no spoilers because I think you should all read these books because they are amazing. You have in this one Olive, who doesn't want her friend to feel bad for dating one of her exes, so she ends up kissing Adam, what is he, if I remember correctly, what is he? He is a hot shot professor. And this made me go back to when I was in uni, because I did uni, I was training and I did research and everything like that, and I loved it. And this really gave me feels, especially back to when one of my friends had the biggest crush on one of our lecturers, and oh my god, she loved him. I thought he was a snooze fest, but she absolutely loved him, and this gave me those vibes, and I absolutely loved it. This book, you just know that there's going to be entertainment in it, because there is. It had me laughing, and yeah, I couldn't. I actually read this book cooking dinner, and I was sat like this reading it, and I had to finish it. I loved it. Loved it, and I've just realised I've just creased down the side of it. Anyway, that's done. Another one that I absolutely loved was It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. Now this had so many reviews all over TikTok, all over YouTube, everywhere, and I had to read it. I loved it. I really did. Again, both these ones were 5 stars. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. Loved them. The thing with this one though was that there is a lot of trigger warnings in it. I think this is a book that if it wasn't for the end, because right at the end of the book, right at the end, in resources, there is a bit where she states that if you're a victim of like domestic violence, and kind of gives you that kind of like safe places that you can go and explore if you feel like you've been affected in this book or by this book. And I think that's really good. I think there should have maybe been a little bit more of that at the front, but do you know what, it doesn't take away from the book. The book was amazing, and do you know what? I thought it was really, really real, and the characters are great, and it really does kind of show how easy it is to fall into the trap of being in a relationship that potentially can be abusive. I love the fact that you kind of go on from her childhood and how things were as she was a child, and how she met Atlas, who was her childhood sweetheart, kind of like boyfriend, or wanting to be boyfriend, because she loved him and he was like her best friend, her savior. And then obviously she met Ryle, who is this neurosurgeon, cocky, arrogant. You get the kind of gist. These guys are, I mean, have you ever not met a cocky, arrogant neurosurgeon? He is a nurse, yeah. I mean, my mum has a neurologist and he is cocky as hell. And yes, so I can imagine that, yeah, I've met my fair share of neurologists or neurosurgeons, so I kind of got that vibe. And then obviously you've got Lily, who you love, like you fall in love with her, and I really, really loved her story, and kind of getting to know her and understanding what she was going to be like, and the friendship that she develops as well through the book with another character. I'm pretty sure that she doesn't come up on this thing, but I'm pretty sure you meet her quite quickly in the book, if I remember. I can't remember her name. What is her name? Do you know what? I'll find the name and I'll pop it on, but her name's in there. And she meets this friend who becomes such, like, pretty much like a sister to her, and it's really good on how they kind of build on that. And yeah, it's a 5-star. Like, if I could probably give this more, I probably would. I think Colleen Hoover has done an incredibly good job. Now, I am going to be doing another video in a couple of days, which is one that's kind of floating around and trending on YouTube at the moment, and I'll probably bring up this book again in that. So yeah, but that's the second one. The next one I read was Funny You Should Ask. Now, this is the first book that I started annotating. I thought I would give it a bit of a try. I did start halfway through the book. This book, I love the cover. It's heavy as well, but I love the cover. I bought this book and I was like, look how beautiful it is. It's that really nice, silky cover. It's, I mean, yeah. I just wanted this book to have it on my bookshelf because it's pretty. This one, a 3.5 star rating. I enjoyed it, but I found it quite slow and really quite difficult to keep myself engaged with it. It goes through the past and the present, or like the then and now. So she obviously meets Gabe, who is a movie star. He is your famous actor who has now got a role being Bond, and she ends up doing a profile on him, which I only found out the other day that apparently there's potential links to the profile in this to the actor that I love, which, yeah, if nobody else likes Captain America, we're going to be a bit difficult here, because yeah, apparently it's based on Chris Evans, the guy who plays Captain America, which is something that I didn't know. Now, that might not be 100% true, but apparently the profile side of this, I've seen quite a few things where they think it's linked, but it might not be true. This is only what I've read on Goodreads, so it could be an error. But that made me think afterwards, going, well, I did have a bit of a Chris Evans vibe, even though I'm not quite sure. I mean, not saying that Chris Evans has got his own, is it Shani? This is the thing, right at the beginning of this book, there is a part in it where she turns around and tells him how to say her name. Yes, we got it. It's Shani. She puts it's like me, but with a Chani at the start. So yeah, but it definitely goes through the past and the present. So you go back 10 years ago when she first met Gabe, and then you go 10 years in the future after she's now been divorced and she meets Gabe again. Obviously completely different, because obviously she's been through a divorce and he has been through his share of kind of like, he's an actor. I think we can kind of, not all actors are, I suppose, you got to think of the pressure of being an actor. That could be quite a difficult one. I'm not an actor, I wouldn't have a clue. So yeah, anyway, so she ends up meeting Gabe again and has to do another profile on him. It is a good book in the sense of that I do like the kind of back and the past and present. I also really like the fact that there's like mini articles throughout the book. So you've got like these like kind of like articles that you read between chapters, and I really like that. I think that's really unique and really quite, yeah, I actually enjoyed that. It does kind of give you that sense though of what kind of like journalists, I suppose you can feel like when you're reading the book of that, was a journalist is going to do anything she can to get a story, but it is good. It does keep you kind of wondering what's happened as you go through as you go through the story. But yeah, so that's funny you should ask. Would I tell you to read it? Yes, read it, because it is really nice to look at. Should you buy the book? Yes, because you need it on your bookshelf. I mean, it is really nice. It's not even, yeah, just be blurry. I am getting used to my camera, so I do apologize. The next two were on my Kindle, so I'm gonna put a picture there. So we've got Book Lovers. Book Lovers again, friends, work colleagues, frenemies. Nora, who is a workaholic, she doesn't believe in the whole relationships. She believes that she can predict things that can happen, and she just doesn't have time for it. She doesn't want to be in that kind of relationship. So her sister and her decide, let's go to, if I remember, they go to for like a summer vacation, and yeah, they go into like a cottage, and they have a bit of a bucket list of things that they want to do. Her sister's pregnant, and yeah, they end up going, and while they're there they bump into Charlie, who is one of Nora's rivals. And Charlie is funny, he's witty, he's just, everybody wants a Charlie. So if I remember, what is Charlie's surname? Oh, I've gone into the book. Do you know the only thing with Kindles is that I find that I get stuck in places. Now here's me doing that again, and I actually need to go to about the book. So I didn't really do very much on the like looking at quotes and stuff. Where does it say? Yeah, they go for a month's holiday in Sunshine Falls. That's where they go. And yeah, and obviously while she's there she bumps into Charlie, who happens to be from there. And it's just like really mysterious and mischievous, should I say. She has this bucket list, and her and her sister are trying to do things, and yeah, and Nora's very much that she's from the city, she likes the city, and she feels a little bit kind of like out in the middle of nowhere. And she obviously bumps into Charlie, which is a bit of like, I suppose, a familiarity from obviously being in the city. And she ends up getting kind of like having this kind of like banter and messaging and emailing each other, not just as like as colleagues, but also as, or rivals should I say, but also then as friends. And they seem to get closer and closer as the story goes on. It is a really, really good book. It was by Emily Henry. It's the first Emily Henry book that I've read, and I did really enjoy it. I definitely want to read more of her books. I know there's quite a few other ones that she's got that I have heard from other YouTubers. I follow quite a lot of book talk and Booktube videos, and they are saying the same thing, that these are really good books to kind of look into. So I will be going to have a look at her books and get more. Really, it was, it kind of surprised me. I found that when I was reading these that I generally did kind of like gel with the characters. I think I did gel with Nora as well quite well, with the sense of that she does seem to be quite like me. Excuse the bangs, that's my neighbours down the stairs. But yeah, so it was quite nice that you could actually connect with the characters. And do you know, between The Love Hypothesis and Book Lovers, I need an Adam and a Charlie. That is what I've come to in my life, that if I ever do find somebody, that's the type of guys that I want. This is why I like books, because the guys just seem to be generally better. Anyway, the last book before my camera dies that I will be looking at is Every Summer After, which I've literally only just finished. Now, I don't know if it was because it was the final book in the challenge that I've been reading and I've really thrown myself in, that I did feel that it was probably a bit more of a push to read. However, I did like this book. I've literally just finished it. The story, well, obviously follows Percy and Sam. So Percy goes with her family to Barry's Bay every summer when she is a child. Her family buy a cottage there, and they go there to get away from the city and just to have like a summer where they can just kind of chill out and be by the lake and anything. Anyway, so she ends up during her first summer there meeting two boys, Charlie and Sam, and she becomes very, very close to these boys. Now, this book stems between, again, a past and a present, and it is very much like, obviously, like Funny You Should Ask, and it's like past and present where you're kind of back and forth. And basically, you're in the future where, so you go to the past where she's explaining to you how Percy met Sam and how things have gone. And then you go into the future when obviously years later, they're not together, they're in the future. And I said in the future, we're not talking futuristic here, we're just talking about, I think it's like 10 years in the future, if I remember correctly. That might be wrong, I will put it up. But she gets a phone call from Charlie saying that Sam's mum, or their mum, has passed away, and that she needs to go back to Barry's Bay. Now, she's not been to Barry's Bay for years because of an incident that happened between her and Sam, which meant that she and Sam were no longer in contact. So obviously Percy returns back, and then she deals with the funeral, and you kind of go through the story of what happened, like what was the thing that happened, because these were two child heart friends, best friends. They loved each other, they cared for each other, and when you're going in the past, you really kind of see how much they cared for each other. And then in the, obviously, when you're in the now, you're also still seeing that she still cares for Sam, and you're kind of wondering what happens. Now, the end of the book, it's one of those ones where you go, okay. The ending was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It is a kind of a grief kind of, it does have a lot of grief kind of talk in it. Obviously, you do have the fact that Sam's mum has passed away and the impacts that that's had on Sam and Charlie. And that can be quite upsetting as well. But it doesn't kind of put a dampener on the book. The book is really good, and I think there's times in the book where I kept reading it and going, wow, their families were very different to how my family would have been back at that age, because I'm pretty sure they're around about my age in the now, and I'm like, my parents wouldn't have allowed half the stuff that had happened with Sam and Percy. But yeah, I suppose it's a difference between, I'm in the UK and they were in America, so different styles and things. But anyway, that is the books that I have read. Now this is going to be like a kind of like a shorter video, and it's just more like a kind of think of, this is what I've done. So trial my camera out as well, so I will be a bit of trial and error. I will have another another video up kind of like next week, maybe the end of this week actually, because there is one that I'm wanting to do, which somebody else that I follow, Destiny Sidwell's just done one, and yeah, you should go and have a look. I mean, I really like her videos that she's putting up. I'll definitely like the content, as in what books that she's recommending. And also Hayley Pham as well. I've been following quite a lot of her videos as well, so it's been quite good just to kind of see what's kind of about and what's trending as well at the moment. So yeah, I'm going to be doing another one of them, another video for that. And then obviously I've got my TBR for July, and obviously my wrap up for June, so they will be following very soon. I'm just hoping my camera is going to be nice to me, because obviously it seems to die very quickly. But anyway, that is me. I'm going to stop rambling on, and I'm going to try and get this video up as soon as possible, and so obviously you will see it when it goes live. But anyway, I'm off to go and get a memory card reader, because I forgot to get one of them, but I've got one. So until the next time, I will see you later. Okay, bye guys.